everything was unreported. Nothing was reported. And the ecosystem became very, very active those days. I will not hesitate in naming Barkhadat. And Government of India never bothered. Nobody listened to us. We cried, we went to Supreme Court, we went everywhere. Nobody said, no, nothing has happened. Chhod do, abhi ho gaya time. You see, in 1990, there was no social media, there was no press and such was there. Only local papers used to cover it. Local papers are all run by the locals there. Only there were a few correspondents of national papers like Statesman, Times of India and all that. They used to send their stories. And some of them were killed also during this thing. They were targeted and killed. A lot of Hindus who were heading Doordarshan, Lasakol, he was killed, murdered. A lot of our prominent people were killed. So they left. So everything was unreported. Nothing was reported. But we knew what was happening. And the ecosystem became very, very active those days. I will not hesitate in naming Barkhadat. Barkhadat was there hobnobbing with terrorists in the guise of getting scoops, we call it in journalism, this thing. She hobnobbed with terrorists and they asked her to give their side of the story. And she used to feed the news what was fed to her, which set a wrong narrative. Because she was a very bold lady, she stayed with the terrorists. Others could not do it. They did not stick their neck out. So the whole thing, like such 3-4 people, whatever they fed from there, that set a narrative. And you know our ecosystem was very, very active, with the support of some political parties, with the support of politicians, with the support of, I will call this pseudo-communists, with the support of Maoists, with the support of all these things. They set a narrative. And narrative was set. And Government of India never bothered to expose Farooq Abdullah's government. They kept quiet. And Farooq Abdullah was in his own glory. He was going on motorcycle with Shabana Azmi, with so many actresses. When this happened on 19th, he fled to his in-laws in London, stayed there for 3 months. He says, I don't want to see all this. I want to say, left the state. And immediately after that, he resigned. So all these things have led to this thing. And this is how this did not come out. And a fake narrative. And we started rehabilitating ourselves. We started concentrating on this thing, and getting a gas connection those days, getting a seat in a school in Karnataka, in a good school, because we want only our education for our children and all that. We could not get seats. We only concentrated on getting these things, small things, some small space to sit, gave education and all that. We never bothered about. Nobody listened to us because they were more powerful than a common Kashmiri who was living like a refugee in his own country. Nobody listened to us. And they set a narrative, and this was floating on and all that. And whenever we used to tell them, they said, no, we know. We have seen the reports that time. Nothing like that happened. There are some murders here and there. They were all Pakistanis. They came across the line and all that. Unless and until there was a support to all those Pakistani terrorists who came from this thing by the locals, there was support of locals. How can they operate? They were living in their houses. They were getting information from them. They became the informers, the local people. And they gave them the guns, and local people also joined them, and they did it. So this narrative never came out. They said, no, this is something Pakistan is doing. Every time they blamed the Pakistan. Yes, Pakistan sent these things, unless and until they were all supported by this thing. Otherwise, how is it possible? Will we allow somebody, some terrorist, to come here and sit here with us, unless and until we're willing to give him refuge? This thing happened, and then nobody listened to us. We cried, we went to Supreme Court, we went everywhere. Nobody said, no, nothing has happened. Chhod do, abhi ho gaya time. Nikal do. We asked for, yes, we worked for one thing. We got admission, free admission for our children. We should at least give us this. We cannot compete with this thing. We want education. And the government of India, Human Resource Department, they came out with a circular that all the Kashmiri migrants who are this thing should be given preference in irrespective of the marks. They don't have to compete, and whosoever seeks admission in engineering or medical college should be given a seat over and above the total intake. So this helped us in our community to build education and all that. We were busy fighting that. That's all we wanted. and we again came up on our own legs. Now this is again, this Agnihotri has, when he was told about this thing, maybe where from he picked up the thread, and he has, and you know how many threats he's getting nowadays, how much he has become of this thing, but he said nothing doing. He was crying himself. Yesterday I saw him on the TV, he was crying. He said that while making the film we were crying, because this is I have got documented everything, and thanks to him that at least the world should know, people should know that what has happened in independent India, which was governed by duly elected representatives of the people. So this is the reason why it was kept under wraps, and now we want this movie to be seen by everyone, so that people should know at least. It's not going to give us anything, but at least you should not be under misconception that nothing had happened. You should also know, yes, something has happened. Irrespective of your color, caste, creed or anything, as a human being you should know that something inhuman has happened to these people, and that is what we want the whole world to know today.